And you are now a qualified. Here we go. You are a qualified.
Certified water sommelier.
Certified water sommelier.
And you're allowed to laugh.
How does one become a certified water sommelier?
Well, I didn't. If you told me a couple of years ago that I'd be a certified, I would have laughed with you. So feel free to laugh.
If you told me we were doing this a year ago, I would have laughed with you.
Right.
Excellent. Where are we going next?
Next one we're going to go is Skildy from Denmark. Now, what's funny about this Skildy is this: can this be filmed?
Yeah, we're filming anyway.
Okay, amazing. This Skildy turns white when you shake it.
Right.
So next time you go to a party,
oh my gosh!
Imagine turning up with a bottle of water that turns white rather than a cheap bottle of wine, and then it clears from the bottom, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just a beautiful magic trick. So this is 300 TDS.
It's a good gimmick, man.
And here, that's the story past that. Here you start tasting Mother Nature, the Earth, 300 TDS.
Times have changed. All right, let's drink some water.
Our next guest has a pitch-perfect palate to pair your plate to the perfect glass of water.
Yes.
He's a water sommelier who also lives above what he calls his own aquatic gold mine. And H2OMG, we searched high and low to find her, Doran Binder.
All right, Doran, welcome to the show.
Amazing, thank you.
How great is it here? Can you feel the vibe?
It's buzzing.
I feel
buzzing. Alive.
Yeah, well, just come a bit closer to that mic so we can get the full effect and gorgeousness of your velvety tones. You're much taller than you look on Instagram.
Well, I don't know. What can I say?
Do people say that to you all the time?
No, I don't really meet that many people because I live on site and I work on site, so I very rarely get out.
He's the real deal,
No,
everybody.
I very rarely get out. I saw more people yesterday than I've seen in the last 5 years. I'm not even joking. I'm still soaking that in.
How is that? How is living that life?
Beautiful.
I bet it is.
Sanctuary.
I love this job, right? But I am only ever a hair's breadth away from packing it all in and coming to live with you.
Yeah, it's a shock coming here yesterday. I must say, it took me a little bit of time, half an hour, just to calm down, breathe, meditate, and just get in the moment.
How does a typical day unfold? Where are you? Paint the picture for us. How did you get there? How come you're here now? Just frame your story for us.
Okay, thank you. So 2016, I was working in New York. I was commuting, living in the Peak District, and I got divorced, rock bottom, and the nearest property to my children was an old country pub called the Crag Inn, which was had been failing for 20 years in the middle of nowhere. I don't drink alcohol. I've never drunk alcohol. I've tasted before and been repulsed by it, but that's as far as I've ever got with it. So I bought a pub just thinking it was near my children and it's got 5 bedrooms. Perfect for me. So that's why I bought the pub. And I thought I'll run it for a year. And then the plan was I'd probably just turn it into a house because it's a beautiful place to live. But 6 months after I bought it, I found out that I need to get the water tested because we're a commercial property and we're a pub. We have our own water supply. The water has to be tested to make sure it's safe for consumption. So I thought it'd be a good idea to invite the people that have tested the water for the last 20 years before I bought the pub, a company called Blair Water in Port Shrigley. And Richard Taylor is the owner of Blair Water. And he came to meet me in October 2016. He walked through my door, and the very first thing he said to me, he pointed at me, and he went, "Do you know how good your water is, mate?" And that was the first time in my life I'd ever heard a conversation around water. And it stopped me in my tracks, and I went, "No." And he said, "I told Ian and Janet for 20 years I should be bottling it and selling it, and they ignored me." And I went, "I'm not ignoring you." I said, "How do you know the water's so good?" He said, "I'm a geologist, I'm a scientist, I've been drilling water for 40 years. It's the best water I've ever drilled by a mile." And I went, "You're joking." He went, "No." He said, geologically, there's nothing in this area to indicate good water geologically. It's just a fluke. You hit a vein of gold. That's what he called it.
Like oil?
Basically. And I was like, okay, so what happens next? He said, you need to get it accredited and tested. It'll take 12 months. It'll cost £5,000. And at the end of that, I can prove whether I'm right or wrong. And I immediately said, yeah, test it. And I just needed to know because of the adventure of life, the journey of life. We get these opportunities, natural threads. We either take them, we pay attention, or we miss them. So I definitely paid attention. It gives me tingles talking about the story.
You're so passionate still talking. Your voice is cracking talking about it.
It changed my life, Chris, because I'd never heard a conversation around water. And that's what changed my life. And so from that moment, I decided that I thought if he's right, he's going to test the water, and I will do everything I can as a human being to do the right thing for the planet. So it'll be reusable glass bottles. That's what we do. We wash and reuse, collect glass bottles, not recycling. To use a glass bottle once, in my opinion, is nuts. So we wash, reuse glass, which reduces carbon footprint. When you think about it, that would be like taking a wine glass, using it once and smashing it and recycling it.
Crazy, man.
And that's what we do with glass bottles. So that was my passion for reusing glass and not recycling glass. So Richard started testing the water, and then I thought if he's right, that's what I'll do. And that was the idea I'm working on, reusable glass bottles, and no one's really doing it in the country. And then Blue Planet came out on BBC Two. And I was watching it thinking, oh my God, this could change people's behaviour really quickly. And then Sky Plastic in the Oceans came out 2 weeks later. But I still haven't got the results from Richard, so I don't know whether the water's any good. So I'm kind of hoping the water's not as good as he says it is, because I'm working in New York and I've got a really cushy little number and I don't need this aggravation. But anyway, so I thought it would be reusable glass. And then February 2018, he rings me. I'm at New York Fashion Week, and he rings me up and he goes, I've got the results. And he goes, magnesium, calcium, potassium, TDS, pH. And I went, Richard, stop. It doesn't mean anything. And he said, hand your notice in right now, get a taxi to the airport, sell everything you own, and start bottling this water because it will fly.
So you got 5 numbers and the 2 lucky stars, basically, in the lottery.
Yeah, I've never been poorer, by the way.
Wow.
But richer either.
Yeah. Well, there's different kinds of wealth, isn't there? Right, so you are now a qualified, here we go, you are a qualified...
Certified water sommelier.
Certified water
and
sommelier.
And you're allowed to laugh.
How does one become a certified water sommelier?
Well, I didn't. If you told me a couple of years ago that I'd be a certified, I would have laughed with you. So feel free to laugh.
If you told me we were doing this a year ago, I would have laughed with you.
But basically, a company in Washington, D.C. called Salacious Drinks got in touch with me after I started bottling water. And basically, I was going out 1 day a week, working on my own, and I'm selling the water 1 day a week. And everywhere I go, people are going, I didn't know water could taste like that. And I'm thinking, no, I didn't either. I've got no idea why.
I'm so excited.
Well, I didn't know why. And then, so basically, Ashley at Salacious Drinks, big up to Ashley at Washington, D.C., she got me in touch with Fine Water Society. That's these people.
Okay.
And they've got a course called the Fine Water Academy, where you can learn and study all about water. And there's a whole world, a new dimension waiting to open up to people. And when you discover this, and this is what I'm so excited about today, when you discover this, it changes your life, because it's another dimension that's been under our noses the whole time.
Okay, we're live. We've never been at this part of the studio together before around one microphone. It feels a bit We Are the Worldy, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah,
we are the world. We're going to drink some water. All right, we're here with Doran. He's a water sommelier from which company again?
Crag Spring Water.
Crag Spring Water. Follow him everywhere on Instagram. He's very funny. He's very entertaining. And also, boy, does he know his water. So we have 5 here. We'll try and get through all of them. We might not. We'll definitely get through 3. Where are we starting?
We started with Crag, 110
this is your,
TDS.
This
yes.
is your
so basically, the categories of water, 0 to 50 is super low, 50 to 200 is low, 200 to 500 is medium, 500 to 1200 is high, 1200 plus is super high.
High what? High what? What do you mean?
TDS, total dissolved solids, is the measurement of minerals in water, and that's what this is all about. So wine has terroir, water has terroir as well. As the water is being filtered and blended by the planet, it's picking up the minerals from the geology. And that's what we're tasting, and that's the story, and that's what this is all about. And no one is any better than the other. They're just different.
Okay. So what's the TDS here?
120. So this has
low.
no taste, just a beautiful silky mouthfeel. Swirl it around your mouth 4 or 5 seconds. We'll calibrate your mouth. Swallow it, and then drink it, and then you will taste the water.
Yep.
And now taste. Now drink.
Yep. Okay.
And with Crag, it's the mouthfeel. People describe it as silky, creamy,
Yeah, it is.
smooth water.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be it could all be auto-suggestion here, but I'm going for it, you.
I absolutely like that.
It does feel nice.
And that's what it is. It's the mouthful. So with us, it's calcium, magnesium, and sodium, and the levels they are at that TDS of 120 that generates that feeling in the mouth.
Yeah, and we're back in the room.
Right.
Excellent. Where are we going next?
Next one we're going to go is Iskilde from Denmark. Now, what's funny about Iskilde is this: can this be filmed?
Yeah, we are.
See
We're
this?
filming anyway.
Okay, amazing. Iskilde turns white when you shake it.
Right.
So next time you go to a party,
Oh my gosh.
imagine turning up with a bottle of water that turns white rather than a cheap bottle of wine, and then it clears from the bottom, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just a beautiful magic trick. So this is 300 TDS.
It's a good gimmick, man.
And here, that's the story past that. Here, you start tasting Mother Nature, the earth, at 300 TDS. So same thing again. Mm-hmm. And this will leave a slight taste at the sides and the back of your tongue.
Oh, yeah,
It's so different.
Flavor. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh,
Water
vindicated.
tastes differently depending on where you get it from, and it's just not about dodgy metal, rusty pipes, and fluoride.
But it's very sensitive. It's really delicate and really sensitive, and you need to be aware of it. The next one's going to blow your mind away.
Oh my gosh!
I've always said.
To be honest, my mind's half blown
Yeah.
anyhow.
We were just warming up.
Okay.
I've always said I have mineral waters that I prefer,
Correct.
and tap
Now you
water
know
I prefer
why.
to some mineral waters, and some mineral waters I prefer to
3,000
tap.
TDS, Vichy
People
Catalan.
have laughed at me, Doran, and now they're
who's laughing?
no.
Natural carbonation, meaning the water is carbonated by Mother Nature naturally at the source.
Right.
The water comes
Chin
out of the
chin.
ground.
Chin
You
chin.
don't need to swirl your mouth here. You don't need to swirl it. You just taste this, and it's a shock.
Ooh.
You tell me water's water. You don't need to swirl it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
My dad used to have under the sink. I don't know why he kept it under the sink. Andrew's liver salts.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, I always used to sneak a little glass of that as a kid. And this has got a bit of that going on. I don't know if it's a great compliment or not,
It's
but
sweet, it's
yeah.
salty, it's complex, it's layered, it's spectacular, and it's the minerals.
I want to drink that every day for the rest of my life.
I feel like it's a celebration.
It's
this
beautiful.
is the water
So
champagne.
this is an energy drink.
We're going on a water crawl.
TDS.
This is what we're doing, Tails.
Minerals are electrolytes. So if you're going to the gym or you're going running, these are natural Red Bull energy drinks without the calories, the sweeteners, the additives, the preservatives, anything.
Right.
Just beautiful human medicine.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Next one's a tequila
Okay.
shot. Bajormi.
What's the Jormi?
Bajormi comes from Georgia.
That's
Georgia in the Soviet Union. Old Soviet, ex-Soviet Union. 4,000 TDS. Sorry, I'm
So is this the
shaking.
highest
Of
TDS?
course you're shaking. You're so excited.
I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. Don't blame you.
Pouring water.
Does that do the clever
Chin chin.
goes white thing?
No, only a skillsy
Is this
does
fizzy
that.
again, yeah?
This is fizzy. You don't need to
Okay.
swirl it around your mouth. Just taste that, though. It's like a shot of energy, a shot of life, a shot of beauty.
Different density of bubbles.
Completely.
Straight away.
Completely. 4 levels of carbonation, by the way.
They feel higher. Not on my tongue because they've gone now, but they felt higher in the mix.
The taste. Did
Right.
you get a hit off that?
Yes, I
did
did get a hit. So I could fancy a vinegar shot now. We used to go crazy on vinegar sometimes.
Yes, really?
Yeah, what do you know about vinegar? Anything?
No, I wasn't not sure. To me, vinegar is one step away from alcohol.
Yeah, 1001 uses vinegar. Bring it on. Any more? We've got cans of water.
Well, that's my cans. I just brought those to show you
Oh, come on. Bring a can. Yeah, let's do it. Cheers, Vassos.
It's great.
All
those.
right.
It's still and sparkling. We're based in Wild Boar Clough. That's why we have the Wild
Vassos
Boars.
was the sparkling, and it's a good job we moved over here to do this
It was a
feature
squirter,
because
sorry.
our plane would have crashed.
David, that's Dave, by the way, works for Crag. He fills them up too high.
Doran,
Dave.
you're the best man.
You are my hero.
All
of
right,
my life.
you've got to come to Carfest.
mate,
You've got to
have
come
you
to Carfest.
booked?
Turn it into Waterfest.
It's done.
How do people get in contact with you? What would you like to put out there?
Just drink more water. The brain confuses thirst and hunger. We need to be aware of that.
This is your moment.
Well, yeah, whatever. Bearded Water Sommelier. Thank you very much, Chris. It's an absolute
What
honour.
else? Beardy, what's smelly? Where else can they catch you?
TikTok, Facebook.
What 3 words of where your place is, your pub? Come on.
know.
How do
But
people
remember,
get
you're
there?
thirsty, not hungry.
What's the nearest place to you? How do they get?
Between Macclesfield and Buxton.
Okay,
We're 15
nearest
minutes
train
away.
station.
Macclesfield. It's 1 hour from Euston to Macclesfield, and then 20 minutes from Macclesfield to the Crag Inn.
Can we hear for Doran, our water sommelier, on the first day of spring? We've been screaming it right now. This might be the best show we've ever done. It doesn't matter if it is or it isn't, but it might be the best show we've ever done.